everyone, it's Amanda O'Neill here, and today I will be replying to video journal number 5. At my job, I recently accepted a new position as a MRI technologist assistant, and I am so excited to get started with that role. And since I just began the role yesterday, I haven't experienced really any stress yet. Give it a couple weeks, I'm sure that'll change. But for this discussion, I will be reflecting on my previous job where I worked as the front desk receptionist in the ER, which I had a completely different experience with that. I will go ahead and dive in. So what stressed me out the most working at the front desk was dealing with frustrated patients and family members, especially with the long wait times that they experienced. Our ER is very small. It was the closest hospital for 2 counties, and things got even more intense after ECU Health decided to shut down some other hospitals in our region. And so suddenly our small ER was flooded with more patients than it was ever meant to handle. And we often didn't have enough rooms, enough beds, or enough staff to keep up with all the patients coming in. And so that kind of pressure really created just pure chaos. And so as the front desk receptionist, I was the first face that patients saw, and unfortunately the first one they took their frustrations out on. People in that situation, they're scared, they're angry, they're in pain, and I often had to stand there and take the backlash, even when I had no control over the wait times or available resources. And it wore on me over and over again. It wasn't unusual for patients to yell, cuss me out, accuse me of not caring for them, even though I was doing literally everything in my power that I could to help them. And honestly, the stress was just so intense, not only for me, but for lots of my fellow employees, that anytime we had a new hire, they would leave within a couple days just because of how toxic that work environment got. And so to cope with all of that, I had to learn how to emotionally detach a little bit without losing my empathy for those patients. And I don't know if any of you work in healthcare or have loved ones that work in healthcare. Burnout is a real thing, and it's sad to see how many people we're losing at the hospital just from burnout. And so I have to remind myself constantly that nothing these patients or family members say is personal. They're mad at the situation, they're mad at everything else, they're not mad at me personally. Telling that to myself over and over again has helped. I also leaned on my coworkers a lot because we were in it together, and having that support system made a huge difference. And I would also, if I could, take small breaks during the day. Like, for example, my lunch break, I never ate in the hospital. I always went to my car just to kind of detach a little bit and to, get my cool on because I knew when I went back in there it was going to be chaos again. So just taking that time away from the job and kind of just breathing, getting my thoughts together, that helped a lot. And at home, I try to unwind by spending time with my dog when I got home, or going to the waterfront just to decompress a little bit and just try not to bring the job home with me. Overall, that job really tested me, but it also made me a stronger worker and a more resilient person. I learned how to stay calm under pressure and how to maintain my composure and compassion even when people were not being kind to me. I am hopeful that those lessons will help me thrive in my new role in radiology, and that is all I got. Thanks for listening.